I'm Rob Johnson.
And I'm Kate Sullivan. A major security breach by two teenagers on a European class trip. They packed military-grade munitions in their bags. The frightening part, the explosives weren't discovered until they got to O'Hare. The shells date back to World War I, but don't be fooled by all that rust. This type of artillery can still pack a deadly punch.
CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini joins us now. And Dave, how could this happen?
These old artillery shells ended up being harmless, but the fact that they got through London's Heathrow Airport raises serious questions about airport security there.
These World War I artillery shells ended up on United Airlines Flight 1749 from London to Chicago yesterday.
You just can't bring it on a commercial airlines flight.
Ross Rice, CBS 2 security consultant, says flights heading to the U.S. have to follow U.S. security and screening rules, which would include prohibiting uninspected military relics like these from getting on a passenger plane.
It would not have met the standard.
These French 75mm shells were found by TSA in Chicago when the teens checked their bags for the next leg of their trip to Seattle.
So somebody dropped the ball at the screening process, and that happened overseas.
Yes.
Rice says there's a big market for war relics which can appear unarmed and harmless, but time can actually make them more dangerous.
And in fact, it's more explosive now than it was when it was first manufactured because the internal components of the grenade or the shell have degraded over the years.
Finding military weapons on planes is uncommon, unlike other weapons. TSA confiscated these weapons across the country last week alone. And last year, 1,800 guns were caught at airport checkpoints across the U.S., weapons of all sorts that could endanger the flying public.
The teens turned over the shells to TSA and are not being charged. They apparently got the relics from an old artillery range next to a museum. United Airlines says they are not responsible for the luggage screening. We reached out to officials at London's Heathrow Airport. No response yet.
At least they were recognized in the U.S.
Exactly.
Thank you, Dave.